Hey guys, so I kind of briefly mentioned this person in the past, but today we're talking about Keith Lee, who is a food reviewer on TikTok, and how he's been essentially just changing the food scene in Atlanta, which I didn't realize was a hotspot for awful food industry stuff. Obviously I'm from the UK, I don't know much about Atlanta, but apparently the food industry there kind of sucks, and Keith Lee is exposing that, which is a pretty interesting topic of conversation. Subscribe to like, comment for engagement, and let's get into it. I was gonna just go straight into my outro, just say, and I'll see you guys in my next one, but no, I'm gonna see you guys in this one if you stick around. I've spoken about Keith Lee because he was involved in the pickle girl drama. So do you guys remember the TikToker who would pickle stuff at home and then sell it, and then people found out that you're not really supposed to pickle stuff at home because you'll get botulism, and he ended up kind of deleting his good review of her pickled stuff and put out a statement basically saying like he didn't know, and that, you know, he's not really supporting botulism anymore. So recently a restaurant from Atlanta has come out called The Real Milk and Honey. It's a restaurant in Atlanta, and recently their kind of like list of rules has come out that people are criticizing. Let me just look it up. Phoebe, you're actually being so... House rules for The Real Milk and Honey. 1, we guarantee great food. Everything else is left to chance. We try our hardest though, we really do. We do not provide individual checks. However, we will allow up to 3 forms of payment. 18% gratuity added to parties of 5 or more, or checks larger than $75. So it's kind of forcing tips upon people. I know that's a whole separate issue in America that we don't talk about in the UK because we don't have tip culture here. Even though it is coming over and it's not wanted, well, for people that are going out to eat. No modifications to any of the menu items. If you have a food allergy, please choose another item without the allergen. I mean, this is absolutely nuts. 5, be nice. That makes sense. 6, no reservations. No table hibernation, 90 minutes max. Others have to eat too. I completely get that one. I usually, when I go to pretty booked up restaurants that are not like franchises, they'll have a 90 to kind of 120 minute limit, because then you're just like hoarding a table. If we prepare your selected item to our menu specifications, we will not remove the item from your bill. Our entrees are not samples, thanks. I don't really understand what this means. Maybe it's an American thing. We have no waiting area inside. Keep in mind, if on the wait list, you can receive a text when your table is ready. So this is the place that Keith Lee has gone on to review now, which started all this drama. He essentially posted that he was treated, he didn't get to review the place because they treated his family differently to him, which he has spoken about with many restaurants, where his family will go in, they'll be treated one way, he calls up or he comes up, everyone knows who Keith Lee is, suddenly tables are free, everything is available, and he says, you know, I can't give these places a good review because unless you're me, you're never gonna have this experience like me. So this is the TikTok that Keith Lee has posted about this whole situation.
Me and my family are in Atlanta, and currently we are at The Real Milk and Honey. I got it, let's try it, and rate it 1 through 10. As you can see, I don't have any bags in my hands. We are at The Real Milk and Honey on Main Street in College Park. Before we came, we attempted to call our order in. We were greeted with an automatic message that said they do not take call-in orders. The automatic message said the only way you can do pickup is through DoorDash. We went through DoorDash, they was closed. But online, it said they closed at 5 o'clock. We went on DoorDash at 4 o'clock, but we were already here, so we just went inside. I stayed in the car and my family went in, and they told them they were closed early for deep cleaning. Yet the door is wide open and it's people still going in and grabbing their orders. Now we have no idea if those people ordered beforehand or what the case is. Also, the people who relayed this message, my family said were really nice. It's just the rules. And so far being in Atlanta, I found some places do have unique rules, and this is one of them. I want to be very clear, we're not blaming one person or saying one person was rude. In plain terms, don't call this restaurant trying to get nobody fired. Ain't nobody do nothing. This is just the rules they had. If you don't like their rules not for you. And for me and my family, the rules just wasn't for us. We just not their target audience. For the record, afterwards, I did walk in and they did recognize me and they attended the services, but I respectfully declined. I'm a normal person. I pay for my food like everybody else. I walk in spots like everybody else. We are all normal people. Respectfully, if you're not gonna do it then, don't do it now. God bless you. But yeah, we're just trying to get some food. But I am gonna make this very clear. I do not support, condone, or agree tearing down these businesses. While we personally may not have the best customer service experience, that does not mean you will have the same experience. That also don't mean go on Twitter and tear these businesses down. At the end of the day, business owners are people. You never know what people are going through. The only reason I'm even making this is to share my authentic and real experience like I always do. I don't mean no harm, I don't have no malicious intent, but I always say I'm gonna be 100% honest, and that come with the good and the not so good. You don't know what nobody going through, so what we can't do is just judge off of somebody else's experience. If you like to go to these places or any other place that I've been to, I encourage you to go try it for yourself and make your own opinion. But we still in Atlanta, and we on Main Street, and it's a bunch of spots here, so we're gonna go to a different spot. God bless you, have an amazing day, y'all be safe.
Now since then, the Milk and Honey page, the Real Milk and Honey page, has posted this TikTok.
Did you see this Keith Lee video about the Real Milk and Honey?
And who is this Keith Lee?
You don't know Keith Lee? Yeah.
No.
was like a little shady thing. And Candy, so now the Rolling Stone actually wrote about this whole thing, which is crazy that a brunch place drama on TikTok is now on the Rolling Stone. So it says how a TikTok food critic accidentally caused chaos in Atlanta restaurant scene. So creator Keith Lee says he's hesitant to do more national food tours after his Atlanta trip caused drama and threats online. He has 14.5 million followers. Like, I know he has made small businesses, they literally can't keep up with the demand once he posts about them. So when Lee and his family made a trip to Atlanta last week for a food tour, drama immediately sparked larger conversations around the city's food scene, which has become for its restrictive rules and long wait times. And actually Cardi B has spoken out about this. Cardi B has complained about Atlanta, and she says, I make everyone say, oh, this table's for Cardi B, because otherwise I literally can't get a table anywhere. So she's like, unless you're famous, you're just not getting a table. So this is out of Cardi B's mouth. So when Lee pulled up looking to try and rate some food, he found himself focusing more on whether Atlanta's biggest restaurants have the customer service to back up their online popularity. I actually didn't know that he was formerly an MMA fighter. How interesting. His rise on TikTok started in 2021, and he's been just known for uplifting small businesses and just being a very upstanding guy. He always apologizes when there is something to apologize for. He always addresses things in a way that is respectful and prompt. So, I mean, I've seen no issues with Keith Lee. I feel like everyone loves his content and likes him as a guy. But in Atlanta, the force of Lee's following was met with an even bigger, immovable force. Atlanta restaurants and their arbitrary rules, which can include things as small as no takeout orders, limits on dine-in times and party size, and as large as changing hours and closing dates without reason or warning. In the biggest of his 9 videos about the city, which have been viewed over 95 million times, Lee expressed that at multiple restaurants he had a hard time ordering ahead, experienced poor customer service, or his family was initially turned away only to be offered a table when the restaurant realized they were with Lee. Even when he was clear in all his videos that his reviews were not meant in any way to disrespect the establishment he visited and that he was choosing the restaurants based on outreach and follower recommendation, Lee said his family received call-outs from the restaurants that wouldn't serve him, online threats, and so many negative responses accusing him of tearing down black-owned businesses that he was hesitant to do another food tour again. He said there was so much positive in Atlanta that was shunned by the negative. I'm going to be 100% honest. If you want me to come, please understand I will be honest. And I guess that's, you know, that's why people trust his reviews, because he's always honest, even if that can come across as hurtful. At least you know you can trust him. So when he says something is good, something is really good. And that's when those small businesses get blown up, because, not blown up, that sounded bad. The businesses blow up because he says it's good. So people are like, oh, that must mean they're amazing. The drama first began when Lee visited the Atlanta Breakfast Club, where there was no space to wait while being seated. They were then charged extra for butter and were only allowed to order once for the whole table. I've never seen that before. Despite this, Lee still gave the breakfast spot a fairly positive review based on the food quality, but when Lee's family visited the Real Milk and Honey, they were unable to call in an order directly through the restaurant or on DoorDash. When they showed up in person, they were told the entire restaurant was closed despite it being during normal business hours. When Lee walked into the restaurant at one point, the offered to essentially reopen just to serve him, which he declined. While Lee was explicit that his review should not inspire any negative messages towards the restaurant, the video sparked an immediate debate online about other people's poor experiences at the Real Milk and Honey. In response, restaurant owners posted a now deleted skit saying, "And who is Keith Lee?" The restaurant did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. Now, the chaos continued when Lee's family visited Old Lady Gang, a restaurant owned by Real Housewives of Atlanta cast member Candy Buress. After finding out there was no takeout option, Lee's family was given a wait time of an hour and a half, a number that was immediately changed to 5 minutes when Lee was spotted taking photos with fans outside. Lee declined to eat before the others waiting and left. The restaurant did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. However, Candy did post a TikTok about it.
It's your girl Candy, and I'm about to speak on it. No, I'm joking. I'm not about to speak on it. I really just wanted to say I do appreciate Keith Lee for stopping by our restaurant and trying to show us love. It is very unfortunate that we couldn't serve him and his family. We would have loved to, okay? But he's right. We don't take to-go orders on the weekends, and the simple reason is because we do love and appreciate the people who come and support our restaurant. On the weekends, we get a lot of community support, people in our city that show up for us, as well as a lot of people from out of town. So with that being said, we don't want to overwhelm our kitchen by having to, have such long times for the people who are actually at the restaurant, plus having to do to-go orders, because obviously that would make the wait times even longer. So that's the reason for that. For those of you, I saw a couple people was like, why wouldn't they take to-go orders? Well, that's why. Anyway, with that, outside of that, I want to say thanks to Keith for trying to even show up to our restaurant and show us love. Thanks for trying to bring your family by, and maybe next time we'll still get a chance to serve you. Okay?
Which people have criticized since then. I actually saw this on Twitter. "This is how you acknowledge constructive criticism. Candy had no problem with what Keith Lee said and gracefully explained things. This is what the Real Milk and Honey should have done. Let this be a lesson." And someone quoted it actually and said, "No, this isn't what the Real Milk and Honey should have done. This isn't even what Candy should have done because she didn't address the real problem. Keith understood the issue of no to-go orders. The real issue was telling his mother 1 hour and 30 minutes wait, but him a 5-minute wait." So people are trying to defend the Real Milk and Honey, saying, these are their rules, you can either follow them or not, you can choose to eat there or not. But what he's saying is, and what this quote tweeter is saying is, you can't treat a famous person one way and then someone else a different way. And he can't then give you a fair review because he doesn't know what you'll treat his audience like. He just knows what you'll treat him like, which is obviously very different. And many basically other places in Atlanta have been criticized for doing the same thing, where they, are keeping people waiting outside, an hour and a half, while offering 5 minutes to Keith Lee just because he is Keith Lee. Now, people have been going hard to defend Keith Lee. Mainly on Twitter, I've seen this. People are saying, mind you, Keith Lee leaving $1,000 tips and matching spots entire sales for the day just because, but when the reviews are fair and validly critique the customer service, you guys are saying that he's tearing down black businesses. Let's be so for real. Keith Lee goes to restaurants, eats food, and says whether or not he likes it. Asking where he went to culinary school is absurd. Please be serious. Now, following the backlash to the skit for the Real Milk and Honey, they did post a statement apologizing for the video and confirming that they are in the process of updating their house. They said, "In no way were we trying to discredit anyone. If the comment came across as such, please kindly accept our apology." I mean, they did say who is Keith Lee, so that's kind of, but the drama online has already potentially changed the way Lee makes his content. I'm going to be 100% transparent, 100% candid. Me and my family will postpone touring if other cities are going to be like this. Every review is not going to be the best. I understand with great power comes great responsibility. God made me for this. I'm built for this. At the end of the day, I just want to eat food, walk in my path. If you want to be on a journey with me, you are more than welcome, which I think is super fair, kind, and respectful response to this whole thing. And I'm glad he's not taking it too seriously, as in like the massive criticism. But yes, that's basically been the drama with Atlanta restaurants. I hope things get better for you guys over there. If anyone from Atlanta is watching me and you're struggling in restaurants, I hope it gets better for you guys because yeah, some of these wait times are absolutely ridiculous. Some of these rules are absolutely ridiculous, and I've just never even seen this happen, at least not in London where I'm from. So subscribe to the bell icon for engagement. Let me know what you guys think about this whole thing, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.